Buongiorno, baddies. Welcome back to another video. Today's first question is, a recipe calls for 2.5 cups of flour and 4 eggs. If only 3 eggs are used, then how many cups of flour should be used? So, as you can see, our recipe modification is, since if you have 2.5 cups of flour for 4 eggs, if you only use 3 eggs, that means that you only use 3/4 of the amount of eggs that are in the original recipe. If we change both of them by 3/4 to keep our recipe equal, or else you're going to either get an eggy mess or a dough, or whatever you get when you mix 4 eggs and 2.5 cups of flour, you will not have the same recipe. But you are trying to reach for the same recipe, but smaller, so you have to multiply both terms by the same thing in order to make it smaller and not make it disgusting. So, since we demoted 4 eggs to 3 eggs, that means that we are using 3/4 of the original ingredients. So that also means that we have to multiply 2 1/2 also by 3/4. So 2 1/2, since in improper fraction form, it is 5/2. And since we are multiplying by 3/4, we will get 15/8. And since 15/8, 8 can only be divided into 15 once. So that means you go 1. And since there are 7/8 left, we change it to 7/8. 1 is 7/8. Moving on to the next problem. That one was relatively straightforward. Moving on to the next problem. Sylvia is an architect designing a new building. The building will be 30 feet tall, and the windows will each be 8 feet high. Sylvia draws blueprints for the windows on which the building is 8 inches tall. How tall are the windows on Sylvia's blueprints? So, since the building, we can make sort of like a comparison, not really a ratio here, but since it's 30 feet tall, the building is 30 feet, and on it, since a ratio is basically division, and on it, the blueprint, the building is 8 inches, so we're going to keep the measurements here. It's equivalent to, since the windows will be decreased by the same amount, 8 feet over x inches. So now we can simplify. So these feet and these inches are just gone. But they're still in terms of inches. So now we divide. So we have 4, we have 15. So 15x has to be equivalent to 32. So x is equivalent to, since 15 can only be divided into 32 twice, and that leaves 2/15 left. 2 and 2/15. Inches as the windows. Inches. Do not forget to put the measurements, children. Or whatever you are. Perhaps you are older than I am. So yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys learned something new. And I shall see you all on the next one. Ta-ta!